you guys ever had a bad sunburn? Do you remember the pain of the burn, the hot flashes, the cold chills, and the peeling of the skin? These severe burns cause damage to the skin and to the DNA. In fact, any sun exposure causes damage to your DNA, can alter your DNA, and possibly lead to skin cancer. Thankfully, sunscreen can help. Almost every person is exposed to the sun on a daily basis. These exposure factors, there's 4 of them, and one is skin complexion. As you can see on this chart, they rate skin from type 1 through type 6, skin color, and then the reaction to sun exposure. People that are very pale, they'll burn immediately and never tan, and as you progress down the list, the burns lessen, and then it's usually tan, and you get down to type 6, and they don't have to worry as much about burns. 3 other factors of sun exposure are intensity of the sun, the length of exposure, and the clothes or sunscreen you wear. On this graph, this shows the amount of time in the sun versus the power of the sun, the intensity of it. And as you can see over here, when there's minimal intensity of the sun, you can go 60, 70 minutes without any sunburn at all. And then when you get down here to the higher end of the spectrum where the sun is very intense, it could be as little as 5 or 6 minutes before you start burning. 0 to 2 here is considered no danger to the average person, and the preventive measure would be sunglasses only. 3 to 5 is low risk, and that would be sunglasses and sunscreen is recommended. 6 to 7 here is moderate risk, and it'd be recommended to wear sunscreen, sunglasses, and a hat. And when you get to 8 to 10, this is a very high risk of sunburn, and they recommend wearing all the protective stuff before, and they also recommend to avoid sun exposure from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. And at 11 to 12 is considered extreme risk of sunburn, and they actually recommend wearing pants, long sleeves, a wide brim hat, and avoiding any sun exposure from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. The good thing is sunscreen can help protect your skin from the harmful rays of the sun. There are many different types of sunscreen. It is recommended that you use SPF 30 or higher, and the SPF just tells what percentage of the sun rays are allowed to reach your skin. Sunscreen is also available in waterproof, which means you could swim with it, or you could wear it on a hot day and you could sweat and it won't wash away. And there's also sunscreens that are available in rub-on or spray. And the spraying is easier to apply, but I also have found that it's a little more irritating and makes your skin really greasy. Sunscreen will help prevent skin cancer and premature aging. The good thing about that is, if you wear sunscreen and you protect yourself from overexposure to the sun, you don't have to worry about skin cancer as much. And as you get older, you'll look younger. And if you don't get skin cancer, you could live longer also. Try to imagine yourself in 30 years. And would you like to do something now that would protect yourself later? And that's exactly what wearing sunscreen would be. And as you age, it is shown that the more sun exposure you have, the older and the more wrinkles you'll have faster. So if you want to stay looking young as you get older, protecting yourself from the sun is a good idea. From the sun, excuse me. And I also have some personal experience that involves sun exposure. My dad has sunspots on his head, and he used to get a lot of burns when he was younger, and he has to go to the dermatologist every month or 2, and they look at it, and sometimes they have to take them off, and they're like a pre-cancer type thing. So they told him that if he'd wore sunscreen and protected himself in the past, that he wouldn't have those. And it's just not older people either that the sun can affect. My dad also has a coworker who's 37 years old, and recently he had 3 different parts of places where he had melanoma, and he had those removed. And according to dermatologists, they told him that he's now 30% more likely to get other types of cancer in his life, and he's only 37 years old. And personally also, I've had 2 basal cell cancer removed from my face, and they're not like melanoma, they don't spread, but it is a type of cancer that's caused by sun exposure. So that was quite an eye-opener for me, to have those and to be told that, to protect myself better from the sun. So all in all, it is important to protect yourself from the sun, and sunscreen is a great tool to protect yourself with. It can help keeping you from getting skin cancer. It'll help prevent sunburns, which are just painful and bad for your skin, and it also slow your aging, which I'm sure most people as they get older want to stay looking younger. A final thought would be, do you think it'd be wise to use sunscreen?